What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Millionaire Architect Podcast. My name is Matt Ganzak. I am your host. Today, we are talking about from startup to success. And when I say success, I'm talking 7, 8-figure, 9-figure type business. That's the level of success we're talking about today. So strap in, hold on. This is going to be a good one. Anyone that's just getting started with your business or even thinking about starting a business, here's where you need to start. Before you even think about what you're going to sell or how you're going to sell, thinking about marketing, thinking about operations, that's one of the first places where people get held up in their growth of their business, thinking too forward, right? So I talk to my guys all the time. I'm like, hey, we need to get working on this project, right? Because we work on several different projects. And some of my guys will be like, and they've been trained now, but some of my guys will start talking about step 287 when we're on step 5. And literally, I'll just get quiet on the phone if we're on a call, and I'll say, just nothing, right? And I'm just sitting there quiet. They're like, yeah, I'm thinking about step 200 again, aren't I? Yeah, you are. Let's focus on step 5. You have to stay present. You have to stay where you currently are. You can't get too focused down the road. So let's start at the beginning. This is the beginning of where I start every startup, whether it's my company or working with a client. Here is where I start. The first thing is deciding which market and who I am going to help. First thing is the person. I don't think about competition. I don't think about a product. I don't think about a sales pitch. I don't think about a unique selling proposition. We'll talk about all those things and where they fall into place. But first, you have to focus on who. Who is it that you want to help? Who is it that you want to provide solutions for? And I'm going to give you a little trick here. The best and easiest person to market to is yourself. People that are like you. Because if I'm trying to market to a mother of 4 that lives in Indiana that is focused on X, Y, and Z in her life, that's not me. I am not that person. I might know some people that are like that, but that's not me. I can't get myself inside of their head. I can't get myself inside of them to know what they want and what their passions and dreams and desires and, frustrations and fears. And I don't know all those things. So when it comes down the road, I can't market to that person most effectively. I want to market to people like myself. So the first thing that I do is I take a look at who I want to serve. I want to look at who. That's the first thing I do. Next thing, after I decide the market that I want to serve, and honestly, that could just take a couple of hours of brainstorming with your team to decide on the market. It's not like we're talking about months and years. We're talking about maybe a couple of hours to decide on who you want to serve. Next step is learn what they need and what they want. A great way to do this is to interview a bunch of people. So what I'll do is, schedule some calls or, bring people in and have a focus group. I want to ask them questions. Facebook's awesome. There are Facebook groups for literally anything. You can go in, infiltrate one of these groups and post a question, and you'll get probably pretty honest answers out of it as well. So you don't even have to spend money to use Facebook groups. You can go into Facebook groups, and some of the most successful marketers that I've seen and startup experts that I've seen use Facebook groups effectively to go in, communicate, connect with people, and ask questions. Because if you don't ask and you don't get answers, everything then is just speculation. And if you're building an entire business, investing, thousands of hours and hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially into this business, wouldn't you want to have some answers that are a little bit more than just speculation, right? Go in, use these Facebook groups, ask questions, meet people, ask them questions, ask if you can direct message them and ask them more specific, intimate questions, if you will. Whatever it takes, go in and ask the people questions, and there's literally a group for everything. There is. And you don't have to build it. You can go and connect with these people instantly and figure out what they want, what they need, what their desires are, what their fears, what their frustrations. And you could do it with very little pushback. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel in order to get a little bit of data. You can just go and use these platforms that are already existing and these communities that already exist. Next step, you take that information and then you start researching the competition. So what else is out there that you are thinking about creating? And you don't have to reveal all your cards, which that's number 6, actually, I have on my list, is hold your cards close. Don't reveal your cards to everybody. Hold them close. Don't tell everyone what you're doing. Don't make an announcement. Hold your cards close, right? So next, research your competition. Have an understanding of what other people are doing out there. Because if somebody's doing exactly what I want to do in the price point that I want to do it, and they're doing it fairly effectively, and you see engagement on social media, and you see activity, and you see people posting about it, I might not want to get into that market. Because if the market is only, say, 100,000 possible people, they've already capped maybe 30% of the market, I don't want to go and just pick up their scraps, right? I want to find something unique that could stand out. How could you build something to stand out? And that's why, again, I don't like going and purchasing courses that people are like, hey, let me give you my cut and paste, da-da-da-da-da. Well, all right, so I'm just going to compete with you and 100 other people that you sell this thing to, and we're all going to be competing with this cut and paste. It's not going to be effective. It's not going to have the results like the first person did, and it's going to dilute the marketplace, right? So how do you step into a marketplace and capitalize on that marketplace without jumping into some red ocean, investing a bunch of money into a red ocean and being like, I don't know. See, another reason why I loved getting into the supplement space is because people are out there looking for solutions still, and there isn't an end-all be-all solution. Like if there was an Apple of supplements, right? I would be like, all right, well, I am not going to go compete with Apple. I'm not going to compete with $1 trillion company. That's not going to happen. But you know what? People are still taking supplements. There are still millions of people taking supplements every day. There is no Apple company. All right, I'll step into the space. I want to look at a lot of runway and a lot of opportunity for us to grow and a lot of headroom to grow. I want to look at all of those things. So that's what I'm breaking down in competition. I want to see room to grow. If I see room where things are falling apart, maybe that's not the best market to get involved in. Maybe I need to be, in a sense, creating the technology or the robots or the artificial intelligence that's taking over instead of opening, say, a company that's dying, right? Look at the competition, look at the market, look at the opportunity, look at the needs, compile that all together, and then from there, you will start finding your opportunity. That's number 4. What you want to do is find that opportunity, right? And then this is one of the hardest things to do. This is what, the Shark Tank guys are doing. This is what, the top guys are doing. They're looking for the opportunities in the marketplace. They're looking for a great business plan, a great business idea that has a lot of growth, opportunity, lots of room for growth, and also has an opportunity where, say, one of these big platforms, say if I build my entire business based upon something that Google is missing, for example. I'm just using this as an example. Let's say I build it based upon, or even better yet, here's a startup I actually did do some consulting for. Let's say that, Microsoft Word, for example. Say they have a feature of, taking that document and working with the team in that document, right? Let's say that a service quite like Google Drive or Dropbox could just push a code update to their millions of users, and it would basically make that plugin that you're trying to create completely obsolete, right? So say you're building an entire business based upon something that could be rendered obsolete with just one push from one of these big companies, from like Google or so forth. I mean, would that be worth investing in? I would say no. And the reason why is because one of these big companies, if it's just a little feature that you're providing in a plugin, one of these companies could step in and make that completely obsolete. So if you are hinging your entire business based upon a plugin or feature that could be rendered obsolete like that, then you just have to move fast, understanding that next year you could be completely out of business, or perhaps you're trying to sell that feature or sell that plugin. But if it's something that's not proprietary, if it's not something that's, so unique, right? If there's no IP to it and somebody could just push out a feature and put you out of business, it's not a good place to be, right? So that's what I look at. I look at all those things. I take everything into account. I find that opportunity. Now, the next step is the most crucial. Move fast. You have to move fast. If you're not moving fast towards the goal or towards that thing that you identify, I guarantee you there's 10 other people moving towards it. Don't wait a year. Don't wait 2 years. Don't wait 3 years to get moving on your dreams. Get moving on it right now. And that is the core, let's go ahead and say 5 steps to entrepreneurship. And the next 5 steps are how to create that success. So you have to, work within those 5 steps, and you have to be willing to adapt. Listen, I have gone through those 5 steps probably 100 times personally. 100 times. Over the last 10 years, I've probably gone through them 100 times. I've written business plans. I've written things down. I've written down ideas. I've done, things back and forth. I've had a lot of people come in that I've consulted with, and a lot of people that I've talked about partnering with, or, coming up with an idea. And then we do the research. We find that the opportunity really isn't what it really is, right? There's really not that big of an opportunity. We backtrack and say, hey, maybe let's go in a different direction, or, hey, maybe this isn't a good opportunity. We shouldn't run this down. Or, in some case, we started moving fast on something, started, coding something, or started designing something, and, trying to get an MVP up, which is just a minimal viable product. Just try to get something online or a proof of concept online. And then we're like, maybe that doesn't work, right? So I always have an R&D budget set aside to do proof of concept or just get an MVP online. Because if a great idea comes in, hey, let's run with it. But hey, right now, we are all stashed up with good ideas. We're in the execution phases because it's so important to work on those first 5 steps, keep turning and turning and turning until you find something that's really clicking. Once you find that thing that clicks, you have to move forward. Now, here's where number 6, you hold your cards close. Because once you find something, you don't want to be online talking about it just freely like, hey, I found that, there's this, complete opportunity out there in the world and we're stepping into it. Isn't that fantastic? If I saw something like that, you know what? I got developers that are on standby that are very, very talented. I could be like, hey guys, let's just program this real quick and throw it online, right? And actually, we did that. There was a guy that went and posted, and he's like, hey, I have this fantastic opportunity and this fantastic idea, and here's what I'm developing, and here's what it looks like, and here's what it's going to be, and here's what it's going to do. I'm like, that's a really good idea. And then he totally balked on the idea. I'm not sure if his programmers couldn't get it together or what happened, but who cares? He started going and doing something else, selling like insurance or something, and stopped developing software. So I partnered up with someone, and we're like, let's develop that idea. It was a great idea. Let's go, right? I mean, you can't patent an idea, and if you put an idea online like that, I mean, that's public domain. That's a great idea. Hold your cards close, guys. There are people like me that can go and develop things really quickly and do it ethically where, I mean, this guy isn't running on that idea. I mean, we're going forward with it. Actually, we developed it, and it's fantastic. It's one of the coolest things on the planet. So, at least for business owners. So, going forward, stay focused on your USP. And now this is one of the hardest things to do when you're in the development phases. Stay focused on your unique selling proposition. Stay focused. And when we were developing My Credits, we got a little unfocused, right? We started developing and going a little bit down the road and developing out additional features. And those features were getting further and further from our unique selling proposition. They were cool features. It was really awesome, right? Some of the things that we were developing were getting beyond what we should have been doing because our core features are what was so very important, and we started getting away from those in development. Probably wasted 60 days in development, probably wasted about $15,000 in development. It's not a lot of money, guys. I mean, $15,000 is not like, oh, it's putting us out of business. It's not a lot of money. However, we wasted time and we wasted money as we were getting away from our USP, which was fine. We got to explore some other things and see how other features would work. And, we commented that out of the code. So we still have that code base if we want to roll out those features down the road. But right now, we boiled it back down and said, let's focus on our USP. Let's focus on the core things that people are going to love. Let's focus on those, double down on those features, making them even better. And that's where a platform or a product or a service ends up becoming great, is when you focus on the core features and you don't get too tied up in becoming everything to everyone and focus on the main features that people want. As you become everything to everyone, you will dilute your value in the market space, and you end up becoming something that is some sort of Frankenstein, because you end up down the road where you're just adding on features or adding on this or adding on that and trying to adapt to what everyone is asking for. And you can't be everything to everyone, but you can be the best to a certain group of people, and you end up making more money. Like the real money is in the niches, not in the, I want to serve everybody. I want to serve a certain person. And that's why we always put that first. Write that person down, make that really straight, that this is the person that we are serving. This is the person we are serving going forward, and be the best for that person. Next, set up your affiliate and influencers. Now, what does that look like? So as you're rolling something out, you want to start rolling that out to people who are influential. You don't want to go and start rolling out first to those people who are not influential. And I'll explain that in very basic terms. Somebody that has 10 customers online, right? Say I'm creating a software that is licensed and they can use that software. I wouldn't want to have somebody that only has 10 customers. I would rather go and find the person that has 1,000 or 10,000 customers online to try out the software first, right? I would rather work with those people first and then work our way down. Why is that? Because the people that are on that sort of level is going to help catapult your business to the next level, or your software or your service or whatever that is. It's going to help identify some of the areas to fix quicker. And those people, you can really justify taking the time out to helping those people. They'll really appreciate it, and they'll help you forward the business. On the other side, I've done that all too many times where I focus too much on that smaller user up front, and what that'll end up happening is you end up chasing your tail for somebody that really doesn't appreciate it, because they don't have the size business of which should be testing your products and your services. So focus on those top end affiliates first, focus on those first people first, and then work your way down to the people that are a little bit smaller and maybe less savvy in their business and so forth, or have been in business a little bit less, or have a little bit less experience, whatever. Call it what you may. I always focus on those top affiliates first and serving that market first, and then I work my way down. Next, set up your retargeting ads. A retargeting ad is if somebody makes it to a certain place on your site, and it's really important to start with your add to cart page, right? Or a page that would identify that somebody wanted to take a step. I don't just put it on and this is a big problem with most startups, is they'll put the pixel or the tracking code on their entire site, and then they'll retarget, say, the homepage. People that go to your homepage aren't necessarily interested in taking action with your business, because if you go out and post out to the world to say, hey, Facebook, we just launched our new site, you'll have your Aunt Edna and your Uncle Billy and all these other people who have absolutely no interest in your business except for, you're their kin, right? But they have really no interest in your business. You are going to be spending money for a window of time to retarget to them. They're going to see your ads everywhere, and you're going to be spending money to retarget to your Aunt Edna and your Uncle Billy in, Louisiana or, wherever in the world. You need to focus on the people who are interested. That's why first, I definitely recommend the add to cart retargeting. So what I do is I identify in Facebook and Google my add to cart. That's somebody that's trying to take action. And then I tell Facebook and Google, if the person gets to the add to cart page or whatever the sales page is or whatever that might be, and they don't become a customer, so if they don't make it to the thank you page or the membership area or wherever that is, I will say, show them this ad. And it will identify the people who are serious, not just your family members that go to page one, or people that are just on your Facebook page that are like, that's cool, whatever, and then they're gone, right? People who are serious are at least going to make it to the add to cart page. That's the first campaign you need to set up as a startup. The next campaign you need to set as a startup is a campaign that's going to be branding to explain the USP of your product. That could be a variety of different videos retargeted to the people based upon how much of the video they watch on Facebook. And then on the other side, a YouTube ad that talks about what it is that you're doing. And like video in the startup space is the most important thing because you're able to communicate with visuals and tonality, and you're able to communicate. People can see a face, people can see whatever it is you want to do, and you can communicate that with video. So very important. Get good at video. That's just a bonus. And then the next thing is start building your customer relationship. That's number 10. Build your customer relationships. What is a customer relationship? That's as you go down the road. Like, ask your first customers questions. Like, we launched our company doing the supplements, right? We got our first 1,000 or so customers. We are asking those people, hey, what can we do better? What can we do better to serve you? And we're getting honest feedback. And those people will be customers for an inordinate amount of time because we are giving them that experience, right? What's a great way to do that? After somebody buys or after somebody takes action, ask them to join your Facebook group, ask them to be active, encourage them to be active, and you be active inside that Facebook group. That is the most important thing when it comes down to a startup, is engaging with those first core audience, because that's your first 5 to 10% of your clientele. And you have to understand what it is that they want, what they need, and you need to provide that for them. And it will illuminate what your marketing approach should be for this business, so you can cap that next 30% coming down. And then from there, you start hiring people to do marketing and do all those things for you, and do data analysis and start bringing stuff down. Then it becomes a real business and not just a startup. Most startups don't ever break out of the startup, right? And it's sad but true. 80% of businesses fail in the first 18 months, right? According to, Forbes and Inc. and, several other places that have done breakdowns and analysis. The reason why these businesses fail is they don't make it out of the startup into the business space, right? They stay in that startup space. They don't start hiring out. They don't start growing. They don't start doing the right things, mostly because they didn't do these 10 things. They did not do them correctly. They did not do them in order. They did not focus on those things, and they did not grow their business efficiently and effectively. So focus on these 10 things as you're building your startup. Doesn't matter if you're just coming up with an idea, just kicking it with, a couple friends of yours, having a couple of drinks and just thinking about ideas. Go through these steps with, no matter what you do, take it seriously, right? And then as you go forward and you start, developing, hold your cards close, move fast, pivot fast, fail fast, and then, restart at the beginning. As long as you stay focused on that user and stay focused on how you can help that user, your end goal is going to be growing a successful business, building customer loyalty, and having a very successful company and very fulfilling life. So thank you guys so much for listening. Take those steps, get moving, and I want to hear you guys. So jump into our Facebook group, find me on Facebook. Let's connect on social media, Instagram, wherever. Let's connect up wherever you are active, and let's chat. Let's go. Also, check out My Credits. Awesome platform. Helps to build your customer loyalty. So thank you guys so much. Check out mycredits.io, and I look forward to serving you in the future, and I look forward to talking to you guys. So thank you very much for tuning in. This is the Millionaire Architect Podcast. Thank you guys. See ya.
You are listening to the Millionaire Architect Podcast with Matt Ganzak, brought to you by My Credits. My Credits. Reward your loyal customers for watching your videos and engaging with your business. Your customers will love you for it.